Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We have a lot of updates to do with this video. I'm actually starting today here at Knott's Berry Farm for the Peanuts celebration, which is a huge celebration of Charlie Brown and Snoopy and all the Peanuts gang. They've got a current show going on that kind of highlights the past history of Peanuts at Knott's Berry Farm and like different shows they've had there. In addition to that, they've got special food going on, of course, character meet and greets of all the different Peanuts characters. So we're going to check out some of it, maybe grab a food item, and then we're going to transition on over to Disneyland, bring you all the latest updates there as well too. There's a lot to cover, so let's get this video started. Now you might think Camp Snoopy is like the only place the Peanut celebration is happening in Knott's Berry Farm. That's not the case. It's actually a celebration that happens all over the park with tons of restaurants participating, character meet and greets and shows. In fact, the big show that we're going to be watching is over in Ghost Town, so it's not even here in Camp Snoopy, but there is a lot of stuff for the Peanut celebration in Camp Snoopy, including Peanut character meet and greets. So, and they've got special characters that don't normally meet during the regular park hours here during this celebration. So, and there's already a huge line over here to meet Snoopy on stage over here in Camp Snoopy. But I'm going to be headed over to Ghost Town. And I'm going to see kind of some of the special food items. If we can get one of the snacks right away. And then we'll get ready for the show a little bit later. So this isn't necessarily Peanut celebration related, but I don't know the last time I've been on Jaguar. So it shows a 5-minute wait. Let's do it. Being this bumpy. Speaking of updates, here's a look at the track for Montezuma, which was supposed to open this year at some point, and maybe it still will. It doesn't look like they're doing any work on it at all, and that's been the case for the last whole entire year. I don't know what the holdup is on this. There's been a lot of rumors surrounding it, but hopefully it comes up soon. I used to love Montezuma's Revenge, and I miss having this kind of ride here. So the new one looked really cool. It was supposed to have like immediately launching you backwards sometimes, launching you forward sometimes. So it was going to be a little bit of randomized. So I was definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully something similar is still on its way. Alright, so before I get food, I actually wanted to ride the Knott's Berry Farm Calico Railroad. This has been closed for a while and it finally reopened, so I'm going to head there now and do that first, and then we'll look at getting some food afterward. So a lot like the Disneyland Railroad, they're replacing big sections of track here at Knott's Berry Farm. So the train's back though now, and we're going to be heading on it for the first time in forever, for me anyway.
You hold it right there. Hold it right there. I'm talking to you, you sidewinding snake. I'm talking to you, you sidewinding snake. No, the one with the gun. Hey! I'm the marshal, stupid. Nice to meet you, Marshal, stupid. That ain't funny. I got reports that you're robbing people on this train. Yep. I'm here for a family reunion. A family reunion? Open the hole. Open up the door when you walk in. Let me go get him. No, you get back. I'm going to go shoot him. Don't you worry. Yeah, don't you worry. That's what we're talking about. All right, I'm going to go get him. Don't you worry.
Train was a lot of fun. It's been probably honestly years since I've been on it. And they even have the fun little like robber moment when they come on, but the sheriff saves you. Super cool. So if you're back at Knott's Berry Farm, head over to the train. It's running all day long. They do have to pause for shows that they've got going on, but other than that, it's ready to go. So here's what I decided for lunch during Knott's Peanut Celebration. This is from Sutter's Grill over here. It is Patty's Melt. It's a patty melt. So it's essentially like a grilled cheese, but the special on this one is that the bread is a garlic bread, and then there's like a Thousand Island dressing and a bunch of cheese. So that's what we're waiting on. $17.50, but I have the dining plan on my pass, so it's included. All right, here it is. This is Patty's Patty Melt for peppermint patty. It comes with fries, it's a burger, and it's on garlic bread like Texas toast. There's grilled onions, there's Thousand Island dressing. It is quite the big option. Definitely a shareable option. So I don't know, I definitely could not eat this on myself. But it looks pretty good. Knott's is always pretty, giving with their portion sizes on all their food. So it definitely looks great. And let me get you a shot of the burger. Here's a shot of the burger itself. Pretty big patty, covers all the toast. And there's cheese there. I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. We'll see. All right, here we go. First bite of Patty's Melt over here from Sutter's Grill. Wow, that was really good actually. I think it is a little bit better than a regular cheeseburger because you got that garlic bread on top. You've got the toast, which brings a little bit of a different kind of material to a normal sandwich. So the grilled onions, the Thousand Island dressing, they all play into it. I like it better than the normal cheeseburgers that are here, but it's way too big to eat by yourself. Way too big. So definitely share. All right, so what'd you think about the Patty's Melt? Comparing it to like Sutter's normal burgers.
Very buttery. My first impression, In-N-Out. It just reminds me of the In-N-Out burger. I almost feel like it should be more cheesy to be considered patty melt, you know what I mean? But the toast, it works great. I think this is better than just a regular cheeseburger, if you ask me. Definitely recommend. Probably one of the better options, in my opinion, for Peanut Celebration as a whole.
And are you on the same page as gotta share it?
Yeah, no, dude, this is massive. Like 2 people easy right here.
Yeah.
You get a lot of fries. I've eaten a lot of my fries. Like, this is easily shareable, and just keep your day going.
All right, the last stop here at Knott's Berry Farm before we transition to Disneyland is going to be over here in the stable in Ghost Town. They've got pig pen, where you can meet pigs, and sometimes Pigpen as well. He's not meeting right now, the character, but his pigs are. So the host here has a sign that says 6 weeks old, and there's 3 girls, and the smallest pig is a boy. So I believe that one's the smallest, so he's the boy. And they're all here. You can't pet them, but you can come visit them.
You can't pet them when they're sleeping.
And then right over here is where they have the Pigpen meet and greet. So when he's meeting, and it's listed on the app, you can meet him as well too while coming to say hi to the pigs. All right, I have left Knott's Berry Farm and I'm walking now into Disneyland from Toy Story parking lot. It's so strange. We left Knott's just after 2.
It's not strange, it's horrible. It's horrible.
We went Knott's just after 2. We got to Disney just after 3 o'clock. I think it was like just after 3, literally. And there was a huge line getting into Toy Story, and I'll put it on the screen now for you guys. I couldn't believe it. It's not something I expect mid-afternoon on a Saturday. This cheap ticket discount that Disney has going on is really putting in the work for them in January and February. There has been just so much crowding that we don't normally see in these months, but it's crazy. So the line for the bus was even more insane. So we decided to hoof it and just walk to the parks instead.
It wasn't just insane. It was like 300 people at Toy Story, like literally, maybe more.
Yeah.
And the cars were all backed up to Harbor Street, like to pay for parking.
It was bad. It was bad.
It's 3:30.
We've been walking to Toy Story and only one bus has passed us, and we are walking along the bus route. So there should be a lot of buses passing us. So
There's that.
and that line was at least an hour plus. So I don't know
literally.
I don't know what's going on at Disneyland, but if you're at Toy Story, just do the walk. It's not too bad. I've shown it on my videos before. It's about maybe 10-12 minutes.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's not, and the amount of time that we're saving, at least an hour, literally.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, but I'm gonna head to downtown Disney, get some updates there, and then we'll head into the parks. I think Mondo's gonna try to get on the Pixar Pal Around for some updates of Avengers Campus construction. He's
Gotta beat the sun though.
Yeah, he's got to beat the sun. I'm too chicken for that, so he's gonna do that. All right, so I finally made it over here to downtown Disney. I left Mondo on his way into Disney California Adventure Park. But I stepped over here at the former Tortilla Joe's location. There's some work going on finally. So we saw these walls pop up just maybe last week with signage for Arthur and Sons. But more importantly, right over here, we've got some deconstruction happening on the building. So work is finally being done on the former Tortilla Joe's location as it gets transformed into a brand new steakhouse and to-go barbecue location. What I can't tell is just how much of the actual building is going to be torn away and how much of it's going to stick around as part of like a frame, you know, that they can start work on over here on the new exterior. A lot of it looks very different, but some people also pointed out that it looks similar. And you can see the construction actually even popped out into some of the space that used to be occupied by this alley that has come out of the Splitsville restaurant. They've kind of taken over some of this here and kind of brought people as sort of a draw in to bring people back because it's kind of hidden. A lot of times people even forget that Splitsville's there. But it's good to see that we have finally some movement on Tortilla Joe's. But let's continue on over to the back end of downtown Disney, the west end, and check on some of the construction over there for Earl of Sandwich. So we have a big change over here at the monorail station in downtown Disney. As far as construction's concerned, it's popped out a lot more and taken away the pathway. And they've also added this additional construction, including these like tiny little hallways to have to walk through. But it looks like they're getting rid of the last little bits of the old style cement that used to be here in front of the old monorail station. And they're making it all kind of this new, more mid-century modern style that was added when they added this new west end of downtown Disney. And this is my suspicion as well of what will happen to the rest of downtown Disney's pavement all throughout. But I think right now they're just focusing on this area because it's the one that's already been changed. But you can see here, and I'll go ahead and pan now to a shot from up above across the way at the Parkside Market. You can see just what that new structure is looking like in front of the downtown Disney monorail station. And it's basically going to be a shade structure for the new entrance, the new turnstiles that have those camera and facial recognition as you walk in. They're going to need that shade. They're going to need that, you know, protection from the elements. So before I head over to the other side of the west end of downtown Disney to show you the latest on the Earl of Sandwich construction, I wanted to show you what the ESPN zone or the former ESPN zone looks like. Now, we did get confirmation via some building permits that this location would be divided into 3 separate spaces, a tenant upstairs and then 2 tenants downstairs. Now, when they closed a lot of the buildings behind Toontown, when they were making Mickey's Runaway Railway ride in the new Toontown, they moved a lot of those administrative offices actually into this building, or at least some other administrative offices into this building. And they've been occupying that space for quite some time. It sounds like from what we know that the occupied space upstairs will still continue to remain the tenants that are using it for office space. And then the downstairs tenants, the 2 spots they have downstairs, will be used for other new coming tenants. There's also rumors spreading about potentially a Funko Pop Loungefly store coming to that location, which, if true, would be a huge, amazing move for them and would do really, really well. In fact, the other day, on a side note here, the wrapping actually came down off the building because we were having some stronger winds, and they typically tend to do that just for the safety of maybe the cast members that are working on it and things like that. So we got a peek at the side of the building, but more importantly, it exposed the old sports statues that used to adorn the sides that we haven't seen in years. And I'll go ahead and put pictures of those on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. They used to be these moving statues that were on the sides of the building when it used to be ESPN Zone. But let's head over now to where Earl of Sandwich is being constructed, and I'll show you what that's looking like. So here we are at the future location of Earl of Sandwich, and it looks like we're again at another stalemate for this poor location. It took so long for them to finally actually break ground and start rising the structure of this building, and it looks like we have unfortunately met some other stall once again. I know Disney and the city have a long kind of troubling relationship with building permits and delays and things like that, so maybe there's some kind of delay surrounding that that's causing it. But this is the current look of what Earl of Sandwich is like right now. No movement really since a few weeks now. But, you know, this will be, of course, the future home of the Earl of Sandwich. Two-story location, the first story being the Earl of Sandwich we know and love. Second story being a brand new concept for Earl of Sandwich, a new tavern by the same company but a different name. And it will be a restaurant-style, bar-style location where you can get British food, or it's going to have like the British theme, right? So I'm not sure exactly what kind of food they're going to have, but it's rumored to be pretty similar to what the Earl of Sandwich Tavern has right now in their new temporary location over by La Brea Bakery. But let's go ahead and head into the parks now. We finished up here in downtown Disney. I'm going to go to DCA first because I saw some updates as I was walking in through the gates surrounding the red car trolley. So we'll head to DCA first and then maybe finish the night over at Disneyland and see what new updates we come across to show you what's new at Disneyland. So we got over to Disney California Adventure Park, and here's the change I was telling you about. The red car trolley has returned as promised to be parked on Buena Vista Street for photos and just thematic purposes, right? This was also the other trolley that we didn't see during the final week of operation. The trolley that we rode during that last week was actually the all-red one with the dark green accents. This is the red and orange trolley. And my guess is they probably had it backstage to gut all of its electrical components and batteries, because you don't want an electric vehicle essentially just sitting there with batteries not doing anything. But it sounds like it's going to be parked here for the time being to take photos and stuff. I don't know if this is a permanent change. They don't have the doors open for you to go inside, but there are no windows on part of it, so you can definitely still see inside. But again, that's over here on Buena Vista Street. I don't know if it's a change permanently, if it's always going to be there, or if it's just for now. But we also have the trolley itself connected to the cabling above, which indicates to me that cabling's not going anywhere. The cabling in and of itself was never, ever something that the trolley needed. In the past, in Los Angeles, the cables were necessary to provide electricity for the trolley. But this trolley is modern, and it was battery operated. So these cables were purely decorative, and John Lasseter, who helped redo Disney California Adventure in its second iteration that we have today, had very famously mentioned that he knew that the cables were not necessary, but he wanted them because they provided a thematic purpose to the trolley and wanted them to be there. So they're still there today, I think, for that purpose, because they serve the purpose of setting the tone or setting the theme for a 1920s, 1930s Hollywood, which is what Buena Vista Street is trying to portray. So I am in the boat or in the camp of I don't think the trolley cables are going anywhere unless we see some major changes on Buena Vista Street and or in Hollywoodland, aka Avatar expansion or the Coco expansion, needing to take them away. That's the only way I could see that they'd get removed. But let's continue on. I see out of the corner of my eye that there's already some setup for Food and Wine Festival, which starts here at this park next Friday. So there's a lot coming up. But let's go check and see what new booths we might have for the festival this year. So just stepping into the performance corridor, you can see some of the decorations up for the Food and Wine Festival. And we have all the logos for the different booths. Everything looks the same, but we spot a brand new one if you go on this side. It's actually called Mercado de Antojos. And this booth is actually right next to me, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's a brand new booth this year, and I can't think of, off the top of my head right now, which booth we lost in order to get that one. And here is the new booth. the Mercado de Antojos over here right across from Avengers Campus. This is going to be the booth that has the birria mac and cheese, which everyone's been loving everything birria over here at Disney, so that's probably going to be super popular. It's also the place where you can get the tres leches cake that has a little Mickey on it, and also the cucumber mojito and the raspberry horchata, which is non-alcoholic. So this is probably going to be shaping up to be a pretty busy booth, I would imagine. And again, it's just right over here across from Avengers Campus, right next to another booth that's been returning, which is Golden Dreams. And Golden Dreams is going to have the musubi fried rice, the cherry cobbler, and the blueberry pancake cold brew, which also came back from last year. The musubi fried rice looks pretty good, but I can't remember if we had that or not. I don't know if that's a returning item. So we are at the very end of the performance corridor, right over here at Paradise Garden Grill. Uncork, California is the very last booth. And this is only going to have the Mickey Macaron, which everyone loves. It's that Snickers one. And then it's going to have a bunch of different cocktails and then wine. This is the Uncork, California booth. But along the way, we have Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo. We have LA Style right down the street on the left-hand side there of the Little Mermaid. Then we have Garlic Kissed on the right-hand side, Peppers Caliente, and then you already saw the Golden Dreams booth, and then that brand new Mercado booth. So not as many booths as we've had in the past. I haven't checked Hollywoodland just yet, though. There could be one hiding over there. And it looks like we might have lost Delish. Delish and Earth Eats. And Nuts About Cheese. So one of those was replaced. And we have some more food options at some of the restaurants, but definitely a lot less food options this year. But I'm definitely most excited about Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo. Check this menu out. One of the menu items is called asados, and then it's also going to have a michelada. So this is going to be the booth that's going to have the longest line. If you come from a Mexican family, have ever been to a Mexican get-together, I think every single time we get together, you're going to have food just like this, asados. You're going to have a grilled skirt steak on the barbecue, chipotle chicken, Spanish rice, salsa verde. You have tortillas to put it in. This is like home cooking food, like comfort food for Mexicans. So I would imagine a lot of people are going to want to try this out. And it's a pretty good price, I feel, for all the food that you're getting there. But there's only one food item at Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo, which is kind of crazy. But I feel like this is going to be the booth to go to, and this is definitely the one that I'm going to first when it comes to next Friday. One more update over here at the red car trolley before we head on over to Disneyland Park for some updates over there. I actually posted a picture of this on Twitter right after I took a video, and one keen viewer responded to the photo and said, I don't know if you noticed, but the trolley itself is bolted to the ground. So you can see right there, it's actually bolted physically to the ground on the front and the back. There's no wheels visible. It's just bolted with these like cement bolts to the ground. So, and they look like they're new additions. So this thing is stuck to the ground. It's not going anywhere. So maybe a good indicator that we see it here to stay. Someone had asked me if I thought or knew if it was going to be permanent. I didn't know. But with the fact that it's bolted down now is probably a good indicator. And you can see it's still attached to the cabling like I talked about earlier. Finally made our way to Disneyland for some quick updates here before we call it a day. Long day, man. Starting out at Knott's, then heading at Disneyland and staying here for the rest of the entire day until the nighttime. And it's a crowded day here. I'm not sure why. It's the middle of February, or the end of February. And the parking structure's full. Toy Story parking lot was almost full. It's been a while since we've seen Disneyland like that. So I was telling you guys on Main Street just how crowded it was. You can see here, we can't even move. This is how crowded it is. We are currently in the middle of a cheap ticket offer at Disneyland, where you can get tickets if you're a California resident that's cheaper than going to Knott's. So that's why we're seeing crazy crowds here at Disneyland. And the ticket offer does end, but then we head right into spring break and April. And then May kicks off the 70th anniversary celebration with things like Paint the Night Parade and the Wondrous Journey fireworks show returning to Disneyland. So it's going to be a busy year, 2025, and there's really not all that much that's brand new. But there's the anticipation and the demand for Disneyland is higher than ever. So they're going to keep drawing in the crowds. And these cheap ticket offers do make the park pretty crowded, but it does give an opportunity for a lot of families to be able to afford to go. So I'm all for it, especially people that can't afford a pass. They can do these cheap days, multiple days per year, still have a good time. This is the last thing that I wanted to show you guys here at Disneyland. The Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond gift shop is under construction once again. However, the shop is open. You can still get to it from the entrance that's on the side where you exit the Haunted Mansion attraction. They're currently working on some grading in front of the shop because all of the water they use at night to clean the ground was kind of pooling in front of the restaurant and also going inside, or not the restaurant, the store, pooling inside in front of the store and also going inside the store. So it's causing some issues. So they need to change the grading of the ground and make sure that that's draining away from the building. So that's why it's currently under construction. And I'll leave you guys with this clip of the Let's Celebrate show, which is celebrating 75 years of Peanuts over at Knott's Berry Farm for the Peanuts celebration. I didn't want to include a ton of the show just so that you guys could see it for yourself. The Peanuts celebration is going through the rest of this month and some of the early weeks of March. So not that much time left, so get in some of that Peanuts celebration if you have access to Knott's Berry Farm between now and then. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment below on something that you're excited to try for Disney's Food and Wine Festival, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I'm going to have, of course, all of my updates and recommendations from the actual Food and Wine Festival this coming week, plus so much more. And you can also make sure that you're getting the latest podcast episodes if you're subscribed to the channel as well too. But thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.